Now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Bride of Dracula. The Goddess Next Door and John Haynes team up to take on the Dark Vampire Lord in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Bride of Dracula in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. One of my viewers wanted to know how they could validate their own masculinity. Well, there's no way for an individual to validate their own masculinity because your masculinity was defined by the Most High God when He made you. God made you a male, so you have natural masculinity from the beginning, but you have to go out here and do things to develop that masculinity in order to go out here and understand what masculinity is. Now, a boy's first teacher of masculinity usually is their father, and the father is the first person to validate a boy's own masculinity by letting him know that he needs to learn male life skills and male survival skills. And usually when a father teaches a boy male life skills and male survival skills, this is what gives a boy the masculine energy that allows him to have a sense of confidence about himself, about being a man. And this is how a boy gets validation of his masculinity. And as boys get older, what happens is usually the father starts to introduce the boy to other men. And as he's introduced to other men and they form a network of brothers, what that does is validate that boy's masculinity, and it allows that boy to build more confidence as he learns how to socialize in the circles of men. And as he socializes in the circles of men, what that boy starts to learn is how to navigate life in the world of men. And as he learns how to navigate life in the world of men, he learns the written and unwritten social rules of manhood and learns more about the intangibles of manhood as related to character, not to mention the code of men. And as he learns these life skills as related to the unwritten and written social rules of men, the code of men, he gets validated by other men. And again, these validations of manhood, these are the things that validate a man in a social circle of men. It's not something a man can do on his own because a man needs to understand how to move in circles of men. He needs to know how to move as related to the unwritten and written social rules of men, and he needs to understand the code of men. These are things that a man, again, needs to be around other men to understand, and he needs to be around other men because, again, your masculinity isn't something, again, that is validated by you. It is established by the Most High God, and it is something that you have to learn more about from other men. So a boy has to be around other men in order for his masculinity to be seen by other men, because the way a man gets masculine energy as a boy is from other men, from socializing with them and bonding and connecting with them. And that's how he radiates the masculine energy that lets people know that he is masculine, know that he is strong, know that he is somebody who can go out here and achieve and accomplish. And he builds that masculine energy not only by working with a band of brothers, but also by going out here and setting goals for things that he wants to achieve and accomplish in life. Because a man also goes out here and gets his masculinity validated by going out here and setting goals for himself and working towards those goals. When he works towards a goal and accomplishes a goal, this allows him to, again, feel value as related to being masculine. When a man goes out here and sets and meets a goal that he wants to do, this makes him feel like a man because, again, masculinity is related also to building. And again, men go out here and we build things, and that's also how we go out here and also get value as related to our masculinity. We also get value by going out here and building things we go out here and put work with our hands. That's also how we get value as related to our own masculinity. Men get validation of themselves being masculine by going out here and setting a goal for something they want to accomplish and accomplishing it. And men get validation for going out here and building something with their hands from start to finish. And again, these are the ways men get their masculinity validated. Again, it's not something that's done internally all by yourself. You need to go out and work with other men, because the only way to really accomplish something is with other men. And again, a man's masculinity is, again, it starts to get validated by God first, and then your father and other men. These are the men who value your masculinity, and it's one of those things that men want to do, is get their masculinity validated by their fathers and other men, because it makes them feel like they are a part of the brotherhood, and it also makes them feel like they have value as a man, and also makes them feel like they have purpose as a man. So again, masculinity is not something that is defined by one by himself, because you need to see other men modeling manhood for you. You need to see other men in action. You need to see other men out here showing you what manhood is. And you need men to show you what the standards of manhood are, the rules of engagement of men, the code of men, the unwritten and written social rules of men. These are things that only other men can teach you. And if there is no man to teach you these things, what happens is many males go out here and they learn manhood from females, and they look for the validation of females, or they start making speculations about manhood, trying to find validation for themselves. But what that does is take a male on the road to toxic masculinity, which is what many beta males participate in, because the beta male, he's looking to validate his own masculinity without any sort of model or example of manhood. And what that does is take us down a road of toxic masculinity, where we have a male who doesn't know anything about being masculine, looking to validate his masculinity from a female perspective, or from ideas they have observed from Madison Avenue in Hollywood, which are usually hyper-masculine or effeminate or asexual. And again, these are not actual images of masculinity that can show you what is a valid example of masculinity. No, actual valid images and portrayals of masculinity are presented only by men. So the only way to, again, get validation of a man's masculinity is if he goes out here and socializes with other men. That's how a man learns about being a man, seeing other men model manhood and model examples of manhood for him. When a man sees other men out here showing him what manhood is, and the collective of brothers showing him how to move like a man, these are the things that validate another man's masculinity and lets other men know that he is masculine. So the viewer wanted to know that if you could validate it yourself. No, you can't validate it yourself. No, you really have to go out here and be around other men to learn what masculinity is. And you have to be around healthy men who have fathers in their lives, because it's men who teach other men the code of manhood. It's other men who teach what manhood is all about. And again, you can't get validated from yourself, because you may get a lot of misinformation from things like the media or from women. And this is the road that beta males go on, that have them on the road to talking about dysfunctional paradigms like being an incel, or talking about all sorts of dysfunctional aspects that put a man on the road from being a man to being a man in crisis. So a man really needs to be around other men in order to understand the everything related to masculinity and what makes masculinity valuable. Now, I'm hoping that this answers the viewer's question, because this was a requested video, and if you want to request a video, you can send a donation to the Cash App or the PayPal or the Patreon by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my men's issues books to learn more about manhood and masculinity, you can find many of my men's issues books like Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Stop Simping in the Workplace, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, The Man Crisis, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, and The Woman Crisis on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find all of these men's issues books at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Escape from Transylvania. The goddess next door and John Haynes must escape a horde of vampires on the hunt in this horror-filled Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Escape from Transylvania in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.